It is not done by the so-called Generation Z. It was done by some other, I mean, miscreants like bad organizations, something like that.
Research Associate Dr. Tilak Shrestha sir. Welcome to the Gorkha Spirit.
Namaskar, namaste, Jodlapa, Tasiderik, Shabaro, Shakua, and all that. Namaskar, Sabalai.
How do you see the Gen Z protest in in our country?
It's very interesting, in my opinion. Uh, it was started by our new generation people, so-called the Generation Z, kind of like youngster to us. And their main demands were actually two. One is social media issue like YouTube, Messenger kind of stuff. So that was the main demand. And on that one, they also added corruption to Prastachar because that's our major problem in our nation. So there's only two of them. And also, they were not expecting this kind of result. And also, it was supposed to be and was planned as a purely a peaceful, movement, so to speak, movement. But unfortunately, lots of violence happened. Many of our major institutions like Singdarwar and those been burned, right? Now, I don't know, I was not there, but in my opinion, it is not done by the so-called Generation Z. It was done by some other, I mean, miscreants like bad organizations, something like that. So that need to be properly investigated, and those kinds of people, they must serve justice to those people who destroyed our most of our national properties. So that must be there. But whatever happened, now this has become like a real major revolution, Andolan. So now this means from now onward, our new political system has changed. So the earlier system, earlier constitution, and all of them are not valid anymore. To this one, let me point out one thing. Because of the lack of law and order, it is not the President Ramchandra Paudel who invited army. That didn't happen. I did not see anywhere like this. What happened was, army itself came on its own to take care of the law and order of the Nepal peace. So that we really appreciate that. That's very good idea by the army doing that. So that means today the political power of source of power is actually army, not the President Ramchandra Paudel or Pradhan only ran away. So not the given government. Yesterday, so to speak, like a week before government or any other organization. So right now, source of power is army. Thank you.
So it's true that we are experiencing the army rule at this time.
Yes, it is.
So do you think this will solve the problem of the Gen Z's demand as well?
Oh, no, no. Well, let me put like this. This is not really a solution to our problem. Army rule is not a solution. But it is a necessity that army should come and correct the situation and then have the election and then go back to the normal democracy again. That should be done. So this is only a temporary interim gap to have army control everything, bring the peace, have the law and order, and then have the new election, and then bring the new government, right? In that process, so I have heard that our honorable Sushila Karki might be the prime minister, which one is not done yet. So those things are only a stopgap action in between, and so hopefully things goes right. That's what we like to wish for. Thank you.
Gen Z protest for the rule of law and the anti-corruption, like that agenda, but they demand the prime minister now. So, do you think it's a good idea?
In my opinion, yes, it is. The reason is, right now the demand, otherwise Gen Z people are not elected. They did not come under the constitution, right? So their power comes not from so-called the constitution, but from the revolution or the Andolan, right? So now, because their Andolan is legitimate because the Andolan, lots of people participated, because it also had lots of sacrifice. Current statistic is 51 dead and 1700, 1800 injured, and so on and so forth, right? So this is a massive, massive revolution or one. So their legitimacy comes from this revolution or Andolan, not from other sources. And this is at this moment, at this point, expressed through the army. And when the army, or rather, say the new government comes in, they will take care of the other issues. Thank you.
Politicians, most of the political parties, just like release press notes also, saying that do not cross the constitutions. So, do you think it's a they have moral ground to say this at this time?
No, they don't have it. They have lost their legitimacy. Let me give you one example. Do they really abide by the Constitution? Right? So there are two aspects of it. Number one, so-called the current, the Constitution of 2072 BS is not valid. Second, these parties did not abide by the Constitution. Let me put like this. The so-called the Constitution was put for ratification or anumodan to the people in July 2015, correct? And what happened to that poll taken? It is still been hidden. It is not opened, right? That means hiding people's opinion, people's poll on the Constitution, which is anumodan ratification, is a treason. Let me repeat that. Hiding the people's poll is what? Treason. And that also makes current Constitution, so-called current Constitution, doesn't have people's mandate, is not ratified, so it is not valid. That's one aspect of it. Second aspect of it is, do these parties have the moral ground to talk about this Constitution? They don't have it. For example, the Maoist president became prime minister. How come? It's done by both Congress and MLA, correct? When in fact, this guy murdered 17,000 people, destroyed our economy, destroyed our temples, right? So these guys are totally against democracy, freedom, and our values, right? And how many they got in our member of parliaments? Only 32. So you bring a guy with only 32 members in the parliament, and who doesn't have legal or moral, the standing as a prime minister, then you also lose it. And it's done both by Congress and MLA. Good? So they are talking about legal and moral rights about the Constitution. They have none. Second one, normally, even as a matter of principle, the largest party runs the government, and the second largest party stays in opposition. How is now today? Largest Congress and the second largest MLA, both are in the government. What kind of democracy are they talking about? If they do not abide by the basic principles of democracy, then they have no moral right to talk about it. Thank you.
So, at this time, we heard about the name, just like as a prime minister, former Chief Justice Sushila Karki, and at the same time, there is a name of former King Gyanendra Saha. We heard that that army is going to restore the monarchy. So these two aspects we are hearing repeatedly. So which one is better for the country, for its
No, let me put like this. Right now, we should not, drag King Gyanendra in this issue. It has nothing to do with the king. And King Gyanendra, His Majesty simply put out a statement about being peaceful and not being violent, all that. So that's all he did it. So there is no other role behind His Majesty King's one. So in my opinion, he should be kept aside. He should not be included in the current situation. That has totally been protected. And what they should do, in my opinion, the army should be in control. And as we are talking about, that our honorable Sushila Karki should form the government, let them do it. And then only the process of election and what will be the position of the constitutional monarchy. I'm not talking monarchy, I'm talking about constitutional monarchy. All those issues will be sorted out later, right? That should be done. But at this moment, we should keep aside King Gyanendra out of the picture. Thank you.
So, what's your suggestions for the army chief, because he is handling the situations at this time? So, what's your suggestions to him?
Very simple. Number one, corruption. So he should grab all those corrupt people, all the way from 1947 or Panchayat, all that, who has, the milking out the nation with the corruption and all that. So they grabs them and then subject them lie detection. There's a machine called lie detection test. So they will tell you, are you speaking truth or not? And from that, you have to ask questions like, how much money you got, from where, and where you have stashed all this money, and who else is taking the money, and what for? Are you talking about simply businessman, or are you compromising our national interests, right? Those questions will be put and put a tally, and suppose I say, okay, you are the respondent, you should be checking you also, right? So this is the time to do it, because this has been a problem for decades, right? And the army, if they want to do it right now. As a matter of fact, most of the culprits are under the army, the security thing inside. So why not, right? And what the army should not do is let them run away. If they run away, then they'll run away to some foreign countries, Canada, America, Australia, and then start enjoy their, the corrupt black money. That is not allowed. And if they're not, and then, if possible, try to bring the money back to the nation. Thank you.
So, what's your suggestions to the political parties?
Stay quiet and prepare for the next election. And the political parties should bring the candidates who is not corrupt. And they should kick out, let me repeat the word, kick out all those old people who are taking lots of money the fleecing the Nepal. So the corruption must go within the party and outside the party. And the best one to do is, for the coming election, when it happens, they should field only candidates who has some kind of moral standing. Otherwise, now it's a very simple calculation. I am going to feed all the masabat to all the people, spend about 50 lakh, and then I'm going to earn 2 crores rupees. Now, this is business. No. If you are trying to do something socially good, political activities, then it cannot be a business of making money through corruption. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir, for joining us.
Namaste, Josalapa, Tashi Delik, Shabaruk, Shakua, and all that. Thank you. Namaskar, namaste.